Hi, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Lulu. I do hope you are having a great summer. You've had some time to reset, spend time with friends and family and loved ones like I have. So for this week, I'm not going to have a guest. Instead, for the next 3 weeks, every Monday, I'm going to be releasing a bite-sized episode where I'm going to share with you some insights about startups, also building on what some of my guests have said already in 2024. So for this particular episode, I wanted to start by sharing why I am very excited about startups and why I think you should care. So some of you might be entrepreneurs already and you know the drill. You might share this episode with people that don't know what you're doing and how much of a sacrifice you are giving. And for those of you who are not entrepreneurs and interested in this space, I think you'd find this quite inspiring and maybe it might give you that push that you've been looking for to get started. So first things first, let's start with money. If you are looking to get started here in the region, the good news is there's about an estimated $4.6 billion in sovereign wealth fund money that is still ready to be deployed. This is in addition to money from corporates and from private funds. Just to put things in perspectives, last year in 2023, $2.3 billion roughly was invested in startups in MENA. So as you can tell, there's quite a bit of money for the right people. We've had over 4,500 tech startups in the MENA region, which means that there's a pool of talent that you can access that, have been there, done that. And there's around 2,000 active investors. But why are startups particularly exciting here in the MENA region? It's because 86% of global consumers live in developing countries, and our region could be the gateway to service the next billion consumers. Here's Ben Harburg, the managing partner at MSA Capital.
This has become kind of the center of the world, particularly for what we would call the next billion consumers. And those next billion consumers for us are really exciting. So those are consumers that are not just sitting obviously in the GCC, those are consumers that are sitting in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, that are sitting in Egypt, Nigeria, Kenya. And so this to us feels like the capital city of all of those customer bases.
What's the characteristic of the next billion? Is it bankability? Is it?
So these are guys that are still very underpenetrated from all layers of the technology stack, from digital finance to online consumption to to entertainment. This is the next growth opportunity that hasn't been fully addressed and can't be fully addressed by Western companies because Western companies are built for Western consumers. And so they have struggled to kind of let's say limit bandwidth and limit price tag and limit specifications in an effort to address those next billion consumers the way that companies that are built in this region could, or companies that are, say, coming from China and adapted to this region and then taken out.
So what about entrepreneurs? Those people are a rare breed. They are rational optimists par excellence. The odds are against them from day one, and that they go ahead and they persevere and they sacrifice. Here's Ali Habib, the co-founder of Anghami.
For me, it's like, how can I make Anghami a legacy? Not just building a company, but building a company that has a legacy. And
a lasting company.
A lasting company, exactly. So I'm much more focused on to creating a lasting company than before. I mean, I don't think I was focused on lasting before. I'm interested in all of those entrepreneurs who dedicate their life to their company. And, all of the big ones, if you read, it's like they didn't make tons of companies. They probably learned first at a few companies, but then that's their life's work.
Yeah.
So my life's work is what I've built and what I'm going to be building. And maybe it's a tech media company because I'm not just music right now. Maybe I'm going to do more in the future. But at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to leave. Right? I feel the legacy part is important. And having a sustainable company is what I want to build.
Okay, so entrepreneurs are quite special, but despite all efforts, a lot of them will end up failing. So is it all worth it? I can tell you from personal experience that it absolutely is. It was, for me, being an entrepreneur was one of the most rewarding learning experiences I've had in my life. And as a mother, I can tell you it's very similar to having a baby. But beyond the economic narrative of job creation and contribution to GDP, if you are in corporate or in an NGO or self-employed or work in government, why, should you be interested in startups? I think, it's a way to hedge your career. A lot of entrepreneurs that ended up building companies were accidental entrepreneurs. This is Dana Baki, the co-founder of Munchon.
I never wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? Like
Okay.
that did not even, that if you had asked me moving here, if that was what I was planning on doing, I'd be like, very unlikely. I remember people, like when people would tell me they're starting a business, I'm like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I was smart then. I knew it was a crazy thing to do.
This is Jad Eid, the co-founder of K-Crew.
We got terminated by Nokia. So I decided to pitch it myself and try to go myself and to go and build a company in a country that I don't know anyone. I don't speak the language. And Pakistan is known to be one of the toughest markets to operate in. I think I come from the streets when it comes to doing businesses. I see a lot of people around me that are building some things and succeeding. And of course, we see a lot of people who are doing things and failing, right? So I always look at the part of why not trying? Why not do something like those people who are succeeding?
This is Mazen Kanaan, the co-founder of House of Pops.
I worked for 13 years with them. So all the financial benefits that I got out of it, and with this redundancy, I took it. And then we opened the ice cream factory in Al Quwain, and the journey started from there. So the idea is that sometimes you might be in really not a great place, and you might think that you are really worth nothing. But then it turned out that that could be an opportunity for something greater. And if this did not happen, and if the change of management did not happen, and if those people who were trying to push me out were nice to me, I would still now be doing presentations, preparing the market visit for the VP to please him and to manage politics inside.
The caveat is entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I know. But even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur yourself, you can still be involved. You know, I think a lot of you invest in things. You invest in public equities, for example, in the stock markets. And, you know, you put, I don't know, 10, 20, 100,000, maybe more dollars. And that money is not going to make a dent in the universe. But if you give that same money or part of that money to a local entrepreneur, someone that you love, you trust, you've seen, you've worked with before, that money is going to go a long way. You don't have money to invest? Fine. You can still invest your time. You can become an advisor, get your corporate experience and become an advisor to these entrepreneurs and dip your toes, and you're going to find some, you know, you're going to get some newfound respect for entrepreneurs. If you're a decision maker, give them business. Don't negotiate with them and try to squeeze them out or dismiss them because they are a local product. That's pretty painful for entrepreneurs. And if you are in government, you know, enable entrepreneurs, relax regulations, make it easy to do business, invest in them. We often critique our region as a consumerist society. We don't really produce much in this part of the world. And now we are starting to on the tech side and also the non-tech side. And this gives us local pride. This is Ronaldo Mshahwar, the co-founder and CEO at Souk, which was acquired by Amazon.
I don't feel the same anymore about the West as I did before, where we were inspired by, we wanted to go there, we wanted to learn, we wanted to build, you know, there. And now it's kind of like the reverse is happening. So I'm now bullish on the region. So I would say, I think I'm very bullish that we're able now to bring talent back. We're one of the few regions that are growing. When I meet tech and entrepreneurs abroad, they're very curious about what's happening in the UAE, very curious about what's happening in Saudi.
So why should you care about startups? A few reasons. One, you are in a region where there is plenty of money and you have access to the next billion consumers. Two, startups create talent pools of brilliant founders that go on to build global products. Three, one day you could become an accidental entrepreneur yourself and you might as well dip your toes while you can. And four, in the consumerist region, we really need local champions that give us local pride. In 3 weeks, we'll resume our regular programming with top-tier guests from MENA. For now, enjoy the summer and make sure you are subscribed wherever you are listening or watching this episode. For more startup data, you can check out the 2024 MENA Early Stage Handbook by Clearworld. You can download it for free on clearworld.org. Look out for part 2 next Monday.